It is my honor today to be joined by Tom Franklin, photojournalist, but more accurately, multimedia journalist, or as he says, multimediaist. Tom, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
I really wanted to talk to you about a new project, an exhibition called Seeking Refuge. Now, we are talking in August 2020, and we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I would like you to tell me how this exhibition started and what it's about, but also tell me about how it was changed from in-person to virtual. So please tell me about the exhibition.
The project began in 2015. I was commissioned by Vice to write an opinion piece about a photograph that was that had really captured the world's attention. It's a photograph you've probably seen. It was a young Syrian child who had drowned while trying to get to the European Union, to Greece, one of the Greek islands, with his family, and a rescue worker was carrying the young child. And so Vice had asked me to write this opinion piece to kind of talk about how iconic photographs, like my 9/11 photograph, might influence public opinion. And my opinion was that photograph was really, really hard to look at and stark and really grabbed the world's attention. And that got me thinking about the Syrian refugee crisis that was raging at that point. And it kind of blossomed into this 6-year project that focused on the broad topic of forced migration.
Now, I want to bring to attention, this was intended to be a physical exhibition, but it is being presented online. And it is stirring and it's easy to navigate. Would you tell me about the circumstances of moving from a physical exhibition and then becoming virtual, please?
This was going to be a little bit more expansive exhibit at the Patterson Museum, but the Patterson Museum closed when everything else had closed in March, and they have not reopened. So I strategized with them about creating this virtual exhibit. Heather Garside, who's the curator, really had the first planted the seed in my mind. And then I worked with a web designer, Marty Halo, to create a presentation that would present this 6-year project in a way that would be both meaningful as well as easy to consume and understand.
I want to drill down into that. Could you tell me about what it means to you, or your explanation of the power of essays with photos? You also have some video in there. You have a very stirring short film or a short documentary featuring Eric in Greece, on the island in Greece, talking about the life preserver graveyard, and his story is very impactful. Can you tell me about the power of combining those different mediums or media?
I love photography. I'm very passionate about photography. I think photographs can speak to people in ways that words and videos can't. Yet, on the other hand, there are things that video can convey and show and express in ways that still photographs perhaps can't. All my reporting focuses also on what's going on here in New Jersey, right? So my scholarship really examines global issues and how it affects us here in the community. Well, we have a large Syrian community here in New Jersey, specifically in Patterson. And so it wasn't very difficult to connect the dots from what was happening in Syria to Greece to here in New Jersey, and then what was happening at the border. And I had also done some reporting in central Mexico around the Guadalajara area. I had a teaching opportunity there in the summer of 27, shortly after I went to Greece. And it all crystallized for me just how similar, the plight of migrants from Central America was with, refugees who are seeking asylum in the European Union because of civil war and other, hardships in their hometowns and country.
I'm going to ask you one of my favorite questions that I like to ask creative, professional people like yourself. How did you get your start? What sparked you to be a photographer and a media journalist? What was your early inspiration?
I love that question. So I was always a creative person. I was a creative kid. And my mom had always encouraged me to be creative. And I discovered photography early on in college and immediately fell in love with the process. And then while I was at college, I got a job working in the darkroom at a newspaper. And I was suddenly surrounded by photojournalists. And I wanted to do work like them. I wanted to be like them. I found it very exciting. I saw it as an opportunity for adventure and meeting people and getting out into the world and getting a front row seat, so to speak, at major events. And it's really been the passion of my life, Brian. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy covering stories. I love getting engaged in a topic that is meaningful, like the Seeking Refuge project. And so one of the things about photojournalism I really love, Brian, is that it marries the reporting part with the creative part. And that has always appealed to me, right? Because I never really consider myself a true artist, but there's an artistic aspect to what I do. And so I'm very passionate about storytelling, and I'm very passionate about photojournalism, and that would include video storytelling as well.
Tom Franklin, photojournalist, multimedia journalist. Check him out at thomasfranklin.com or seekingrefugePhotos.com, an amazing exhibition, really worth time taking a look at. Tom, thanks for joining me.
All right, Brian, it was nice talking to you. Thank you.